Hi, I'm Judy Joseph, your host for On the Town, and today we're going to be talking to and interviewing local San Jose artists. So don't go away. Thanks for tuning in to On the Town. I'm very pleased today to introduce my guest, artist Phil Bongiorno. Phil, welcome to On the Town. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. Let's start talking about you as an artist. I read on your website that you didn't have formal training. So how did this come about? Who inspired you, or how did you get going with becoming an artist?
It's funny, I used to just doodle a lot. So I'd draw and scribble, and people in the class and the teachers really wouldn't like it, but the other students really did. So as I got older, I just started to draw more and more and more, and it kind of took off from there. I later started to paint, but I noticed the difference between holding a pen and a paintbrush was a tremendous difference, and really posed a big problem with me, so I didn't paint for the longest time. And then by chance, happened to have some spray cans, and I had a canvas, and I just started fooling around, and this kind of happened.
Tell me about your first piece of work.
It was really an abstract. What I decided to do, because again, going from drawing and being really precise with my drawings to going to the exact opposite, I basically was just spraying, splattering. I then incorporated things like coat hangers, kitchen utensils, and it just kind of took off from there. So it just was free flowing. So it was really liberating for me to be able to do that, but it was very difficult to get going from the way I used to draw to painting in this style.
Do you have a particular theme that you use with your artwork?
You know what? For me, it really boils down to how I'm feeling. I've managed to have the unique ability to take what's cooking in here and make it come out of my fingertips without it registering here. Whereas when I used to draw, everything would register here and then go through my brain, and then it would go here. So something like this, it's based on, primarily pick out the color, and then I go with the flow of how it does and how it speaks to me. And again, if I'm feeling more down, I may use a darker color. If I'm more happy, I might use a lighter color. So that's the way it goes.
I also read that you received a nice grant from the city of San Jose. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. A friend of mine noticed a couple of my paintings on the Facebook, and he recommended I take a business for art class that was sponsored by the city of San Jose, and I did so. And I will say it was a life-changing class. They had high-level speakers every week that came in, and generally these are people that you would never get an audience with, and they would give you tips, techniques, tell you how to do it. And every week it was somebody different, and it was very good. And as a result of completing the class, we were all able to apply for a $1,000 grant. And I got lucky enough, and the city of San Jose Cultural Awareness Center awarded me the grant.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
So Phil, I also read on your website you had this wonderful article written about you that was in the San Francisco Examiner. How did that come about?
I belong on a group of artists that have their own group. I believe it's on Google, and I had the opportunity that one of them happens to be a writer, and she was interviewing various artists, and she chose me. And it was a tremendous opportunity, and I loved working with her, and she did it via phone, and I believe she just put it together very well.
She did.
Yes,
That's
I was
great.
very pleased with that.
Well, is there a particular artist that comes to your mind that you really like their artwork? Any particular artists out there, either living or deceased, that you just really like their artwork?
I really like the artist Michael Parks. His realism of his paintings are amazing, but I have to say that later when I embraced my artistic side and I became an artist, I found out that was really limiting for me and handcuffed me, because his work is so intensive, and it was something that I'm never able to do. So I always looked at it as though that's what a real artist can do, and it actually paralyzed me for the longest time. So I was able to put it in perspective only once I started to come into my own. And I had an art show in March, and the artist next to me that was showing, his work was tremendous, and I was very nervous. And I spoke to my agent, and I mentioned to her, wow, I can't do what he does. And she whispered in my ear, well, he can't do what you do. So it felt like the weight of the world was lifted off my shoulders after that.
I agree. I think that was a good answer because, why would you want to copy or be like someone else? You're an individual, particularly with your artwork.
Yes.
So,
Yes, definitely. And that brings me to another one of my influences, which is it's a musician. His name's Captain Beefheart. He took traditional rhythms and basically smashed them and came up with really different types of rhythms that it would actually offend people to some degree, where a lot of people would just turn off the music. But if you got past that, whereas most rhythms kind of lull and make you comfortable, this didn't. But it also made you think. And that's what I liked about it.
Provocative?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what I try to do with much of my work. Because being an abstract painter, I start the painting, and it's up to the person that's viewing it to finish it. So I also found that was really freeing to break the parameters of what's normal or what other people think. So it was extremely liberating and thinking outside the box.
Phil, I'm anxious for you to take me on a journey of your beautiful artwork. So let's go.
Great, my pleasure.
Phil, what was your inspiration for this piece of work?
This piece is called Broken Angel. I was really at one point interested, I had this thing about tombstone angels. I thought they were just so beautiful, yet so dark. And I just scribbled it on a piece of paper and came up with a rough form of this. And then I went ahead and did this. The beauty of this piece to me was normally I spend a lot of time painting and getting deeper and more, and this one spoke out to me so quickly and so fast that I just had to back away and I stopped, whereas most of the time I would add a lot more to it. It struck me very deep, and a lot of my fans as well. It struck me so deep, as a matter of fact, this is my logo for Studio-Bongiorno.
It's beautiful.
Thank you very much.
I mean, it really makes a statement, and there's not a lot of colors in it, which is how it's supposed to be.
Yes, exactly.
So, right?
But it was difficult to do because really I color more and more. I'm partially colorblind on top of it, so that makes it even more tough. But this, it definitely spoke to me to just keep it as simple as possible.
So Phil, what was your inspiration for these three abstracts here?
Let me tell you, this particular one, I was actually in kind of a down type of mood, so I used very matted type colors. This is called Out of This World. I painted it, and the cool thing about my work is, as I paint, it starts taking shape. Sometimes I manipulate the canvas from the back and allow it to form, and then when it dries, if I may walk away from it tonight, by the time I come back tomorrow, it may have completely changed in the way it dries. This particular piece, again, I called Out of This World. I've been told by many people who view it that it either has an under the microscope look or an outer space look, to where you're looking at something extremely close or from far away, almost a topographical type of feel to it. What I really like about my work is I will start the painting. It's up to the person viewing it to finish it based on their place in space. This particular piece is called Sentiment. For some reason, I felt the need to use glues. And that's what I did. I just kind of went with the flow of how I was feeling at that time. And the glue started to take shape, and then I painted it. And the paint flowed between the lines of the glue, and that's just the way it dried, and it came out pretty good, I think. This particular piece is called Arcane Angel. I have a really dear friend, Mary. We're very good friends, and I wanted to capture her essence. And I was really tormented over the piece, and it dried in a fashion that gave me the impression of angel wings. Now, not everybody sees that. I've been told at least 10 different things behind it, but I got the angel wings, and that's the way I felt. So I went with the archaic angel.
So Phil, in addition to your beautiful artwork and paintings, you're also a photographer.
Yes.
And a really good one, I must say.
Thank you very much.
So let's start talking about some of your work you have displayed here, and you can tell us what city you were in and everything. So.
Okay, great. For some reason, I'm very drawn to Big Sur. It's a place that I try to go at least once a month. I find a lot of inspiration there. I happened to go there on a weekday, and the beach was, I was the only one on the beach, me and the person that went with me. And the beauty is the tide was breaking so far out that it would flow in at about a ½ inch. And what it did is it allowed me to get the perfect reflection. in that particular piece here. We were driving along and I just happened to stop and I couldn't get a picture of the ocean as well as I could the barbed wire. And this was strictly by chance that I caught that. And I just noticed yesterday when I blew it up that the barbed wire actually forms in the shape of a heart. So I really am drawn to that piece as well. This particular piece, I have a thing where I have to be near the water. And maybe it's the Pisces in me, I'm not sure. But driving the coast, we pulled over at a lighthouse, and I just really liked this angle. I did it in black and white because it gave me the feel with the peeling paint of almost a Depression era type thing. And that seems to be pretty popular as well. I generally stick to landscapes and do not try to take very many photographs of people, but I decided to venture into that a little bit. And this is my friend Mary, who was also the inspiration for the painting that I did over there. And I had access to a friend's house in Marin on 40 acres. So the house is completely vacant, and we decided in this particular one to go with a more ballerina type theme. And I think, again, I was feeling the black and white, so I went with that. And that's one of my favorite photos. She happens to like that one as well.
Phil, this is your outside workshop, and this is a completed painting right here. So why don't you take me and our viewers through what you do to make one of the paintings out here in your workshop, because I see you have a lot of spray cans and everything, so I'd love to hear about it.
Great. What I did was I've given a couple different styles of my abstract painting. Well, some of them it isn't quite abstract, but what I do is I'll basically lay the canvas down, and depending on my mood, how I'm feeling, or what's going on in my life, I'll just start with a color. And based on the flow and the movement, I'll manipulate the canvas. And then as it speaks to me, I'll go ahead and grab something, say the baster or some dilution or something else, and then go from there. And as it talks to me even more, I will then manipulate it and move it and see how it progresses from there. Sometimes I'll just let it stop and dry. Other times I'll feel the need to do more after it does dry.
Well, Phil, it's been very interesting meeting you and learning all about your beautiful artwork and photography. And before we close, do you have a website that we can share with our viewers?
Yes, at www.studio-bongi.com, B-O-N-G-I. And you could also find me on Facebook under Phil Bongiorno.
Thank you, and I want to wish you continued success with your new venture in the art world.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure.